Ethan Crumbley gunned down 11 students at Oxford High School, killing four, and now his attorneys are arguing that he's being unfairly treated and he needs to be in school, not in a jail cell. Well, how do you feel about this, and what must the parents of those victims be thinking? That's right, folks. In a probable cause hearing today, prosecutors and defense argued about whether Crumbley, the accused mass murderer, should be moved from a county jail to a less secure children's center while he's awaiting trial. Now, before we dive into this further, take a moment, hit the like and the subscribe button, and ring the bell so that you get all of our notifications on videos like this one. The hearing began as Assistant Prosecutor Mark Keast laid out the release of all of the discoverable information in the mass shooting. He said that there were more than 500 pages of police reports, videos, and witness statements which were pouring in, and the prosecution was releasing them as quickly as they could to Crumbley's defense team. The prosecutor indicated that some statements are slow in coming as these children who witnessed the carnage are dealing with this. They're coming to terms with what they saw and what they now must share and eventually testify to. The hearing then took an expected but nonetheless frustrating turn as Crumbley's guardian ad litem, Deborah McKelvey, asked the court to move Crumbley from the Oakland County Adult Jail to a juvenile detention center that doesn't expose the 15-year-old to adult language. Crumbley can't see these other inmates, but McKelvey suggests that he can hear them through the walls. Even McKelvey was cautious with her request, noting that she wasn't trying to be funny when she remarked that the alleged shooter needed to be in school. Can you imagine? What about those children that needed to be in school that never will? She said he's only 15. Let's listen to these comments.
Your Honor, I did have an opportunity to meet with him on Friday afternoon. At this point, we're able to interact, through the normal process on the screen. Your Honor, I don't know whether this is the appropriate time or you would prefer a motion. I do have concerns that his confinement at the Oakland County Jail and pursuant to MCL 764.27a, I'm not sure that he is fully away from the sounds of the adult inmates, that he is either considered a menace to other juveniles or may not otherwise be safely detained in a juvenile facility. I understand the severity of what occurred. I think everybody does, including Mr. Crumbley, but I don't know that simply indicating that because the victims were of his age that he would necessarily be a menace. So I do have concerns for him and his mental and emotional well-being. He currently is not able to benefit fully by what every other inmate at the jail can. Some has been due to a watch, but it is just very difficult. And the court knows the jail isn't conducive. It's not designed for juveniles. So, so I would just like some direction. Do you want a written motion and I can lay everything out? I just feel that if I have to look out for what is best interest, it's not being at the jail. I believe his needs can be met at the village. At least he will have greater human contact. He will have more services available. I'm not being humorous when I say this, but he could still at least be in school. I mean, there are things, he is still 15 years of age. And there are certain things, many things he's not going to get at the jail. And so I'm imploring you on behalf of him and what's in his best interest that we allow him to go back to the village.
Thankfully, Oakland Assistant Prosecutor Mark Keast immediately expressed the state's opposition to those comments and reminded the court that Crumbley is accused of planning and executing a mass shooting crime against children. Sending him to a juvenile facility would just place more children in jeopardy. Let's listen to the prosecutor.
Compared to any other case that this court or any court in this county has seen before. And calling this an isolated incident, quite frankly, does not do it justice. This was a mass murder at a school, Judge. This was planned. It was premeditated. The evidence that we have that we discussed at the arraignment showed it was premeditated for a period of time before it was commenced. The defendant didn't just attack other individuals, he targeted juveniles. This defendant fits MCR 6.909 to the T. This court has already made a ruling that the presumption is great that the juvenile committed the offense and the juvenile's charged with first-degree murder. This court already made the ruling that this court could move the defendant from Children's Village to the Oakland County Jail. I've spoken with Captain Thomas Vita of the Oakland County Jail. He's provided me with watch sheets. This defendant is monitored every 15 minutes. His food intake is monitored. His weight is monitored. He has access to mental health care should he choose. He has access to medical care should he choose. If counsel is prepared to put such facts on the record regarding the Oakland County Jail's inability to house this defendant, I would ask for a written motion, and I would also ask this court to review in camera the Oxford High School video that does in fact prove beyond any doubt that this defendant is the individual who perpetrated this offense on other children, Judge. Children's Village is not a secure facility. They have had escapes in the past, in the recent past. I can't imagine a situation where we could put this defendant in a school environment after what he did on November the 30th, Judge.
Well, thankfully, the judge agreed that Crumbley is a risk to other juveniles, and the prosecution stepped right up and said that they would immediately contact the jail to try to get rid of these adult voices that Crumbley's hearing. Well, what do you think, folks, about this situation? Should Ethan Crumbley be placed in a juvenile, less secure facility simply because he's a 15-year-old who happens to be missing out on attending school now? Again, what about those children that are now missing school, or those that are so traumatized going back to school is a horror for them? Or on the flip side, should Crumbley be housed in the more secure county jail where he currently resides, as does his parents, although he's not seeing them? I'm going to be watching for your comments down below, and I want to thank you for weighing in on this. And thanks for supporting Profiling Evil. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can catch our podcast by searching for Profiling Evil on your favorite podcast platform. And with only a few days until Christmas, please consider picking up my books, She Knew No Fear and Deceived, an investigative memoir of the Zion Society cult. You can get hardbound, signed copies on our website for $20 off the regular price. So visit us at Profiling Evil, and we'll see you soon at the next crime scene.